Hello, everyone, and welcome to watch your really first episode of Man's Guide to Happiness. This is a new segment I'm doing again because I noticed that a lot of times men don't get attention towards happiness. They talk about business, money, work, everything like this. They don't talk much about happiness. So it was just interesting for me. And I have right now 20 episodes prepared for this. So we're gonna start with Asha. Hi Asha.
I I I am
He's
Asha.
joining us from all the way from Brussels. Brussels?
Yes,
Oh, I can't even pronounce it. That's bad. How you pronounce it?
Brussels.
Brussels. Okay, there we go. So tell us a little bit about yourselves to start with.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Asha. Thank you for coming. I'm a beautiful human being living in this beautiful earth, and I wasn't always like that. For more than 10 years, I used to consume a lot of drugs, and I had a life that wasn't really heading anywhere. Yet I did a lot of things, and I was kind of pursuing happiness without really knowing what I was doing. I was really kind of like blindfolded moving there. And 6 years ago, I had this awakening where I woke up like every morning and I took a line of cocaine and I started crying. And I
Wow.
realized I was not happy at all. I realized that I was pursuing goals that were very shiny, that were very big, but that were not giving me any fulfillment. And
Hmm.
so that day was one of the best days of my life because I started living for first time. And I
Hmm.
traveled around the world. I went to 12 different countries, lived in many, and met so many beautiful people, and realized that I wasn't the only one who was feeling sad and empty and depressed. And I realized that something was off. And I went where it all began. It's in the mind. And since then, I've been focusing on making myself healthier and feeling better so I could have a foundation on which I could build some happiness. And today, I work as a master hypnotist, and I meet people from around the world and I help them to find within themselves who they are and then express it to the world and just become so much more and just find fulfillment and happiness in their lives.
Hmm. So how did it became to you in that moment when you realized everything is different? Was it really easy adjustment or you had to find what's wrong first or
Well, this is the thing. Like today, it's harder for me. I mean, I'm finding myself every day, but at the time, it was very easy. I used to wake up around 2 in the afternoon. I used to consume mostly alcohol, weed, and cocaine, and I used to just like go to whatever fast food to eat whatever piece of meat and fried and stuff. So it was pretty obvious that first the drugs were not good.
Mhm.
So at the time, it was very easy for me to change because I just, like I say, I flipped like a pancake. I was burning from one side, and I'm like, okay, I'm tired of seeing that side of life. I want to see the other side of life. And that's what I
Mhm.
did. I said, everything I'm doing is wrong. I'm going to do the whole opposite. So from one day to the other, I stopped taking drugs. I started cooking. I started taking walks, going to the park. I had a dog at the time, so I was taking more time with my dog, and I really started to nurture an identity that was the opposite of mine. I used to be a junkie and I was very proud of being that. I used to just like end up at 5 in the morning getting tattoos from strangers, and like all the things your parents would say are the worst thing you could do.
Mhm.
And so it was very obvious for me to change what had to be changed. And today I'm just like doing more incremental steps of like, okay, what do I want to improve in my life, what should I transform, and then I'm looking at who I want to become, and I'm saying, okay, I want to become this kind of man, and what should I do to become it. So now it's a bit, I wouldn't say it's more difficult, but it's more subtle.
Mhm. Because I think it starts when you realize that you don't have to follow whatever that is that everybody else is doing, and you start following what your life is and who you are.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So that's kind of like one of the questions is what is the generalized view what people men think that they should be to be happy? Like, what is a generalized thing?
Yeah, so if I can reframe, is like, what is the image that we're trying to impose to boys onto what a man is?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, today's question, I would say it's a very dark picture that is painted in society where men seem to be like kind of like brainless machines that want to have power and control everything. I want to give the image of Rambo, this guy who has machine guns, who has a big,
Mm-hmm.
or I would say even Vin Diesel, like super muscular, who has fast cars and who is very much into action and not much into feeling and to thinking. And I think this is a part of what men want to be, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. And I think that the problem is in our society where we're too much on the outside rather than the inside. Like we're not thinking about what is the deepness of a man, and we're just like
Mm.
picturing an image from what we've seen from far and say, okay, these are men, and we don't really ask men or go see what is really the deepest part of men.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much like what goes on with men is they looking more from outside
Yeah.
instead of looking inside. They're looking they think about what they look from outside instead of paying attention at all what is inside. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I think the big problem here is in the society, the Western society, we don't have the opportunity to experience life. We're put into school and we benefit with a lot of information. And then at 18, you're like, okay, now you have to make the most important decision in your life. And that's it. And we're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I know I want to be part of society. I want to be respected. I want to be loved. And then we look at people who are loved, respected, and like, oh, politicians, they are respected. Wealthy people are respected. Doctors are, and we see these people are being respected. Like, oh, I want the respect, so I'm going to be that. But we
Mm-hmm.
need to look at the other way. It's not the function that is making you respected. It's the man behind it. and,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I think at one point created a generation of men being like, I need to be in this position of power to be respected, and so they would do anything they can to get there rather than understanding that by earning respect they will get that position.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. And you were always thinking like that, or that came along after you started looking into yourself?
That really came by looking at myself and asking myself at one point, like, how do I become a man in this society where toxic masculinity is so much on the upfront of every
Mm-hmm.
media, and deep down you're a man and you want to be a man, but you don't want also to hurt your sister or your mother by being more of a man, and you're like, okay. So it really took me a lot of time to really accept that I am a man, and it's up to me to define what a man is. It's not up to society. It's with my
Mm-hmm.
experiences, with my testing, and I'm trying behaviors and trying things that are like, okay, this is something that makes me feel good, and this is what I want to be representative as a man.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm getting as well. There's so many standards or what men is instead of what you are. So I think the men see it more like general view of what men is instead of what I am.
Yeah.
So that's where I think where they start. I think that's where kind of men have to start from, like thinking, oh, where
It's
what they are, who they are.
yeah, who are you first, and then build yourself from there, like, don't try to become someone else. It's not gonna help you in your life. It's not gonna make you happy.
Hmm. Do you see other men thinking the same way, or you still see most of the other men thinking that being
um
lost, not even thinking about happiness?
I think we've reached a point for humanity to be asking that question. I think social media really gave that voice where we're starting to have that feedback. I think that there was a time, I mean, I would say after World War II in Europe, people wanted to rebuild the world and create something. And now we're in this stage where we have ways of communication, we have ways to receive feedback from the general society and realize that what we believe was right because a few people had the luxury to think and give their opinion. Now we can see that many people start asking themselves and say, hey, this sauce that you gave us is not tasting good, and we want to make your own sauce and we want to make something different. And I think that more and more people realize that they have a choice. They don't need to follow the same path as everybody. I think it's
Hmm.
really a luxury for our generation to be cutting the cord from that cookie cutter life destiny that was given to us at birth, and now we can choose. And I see more and more people asking themselves. And I've been away from Europe for 5 years, and when I left, I felt like I was one of the only person to do that. And I came back now, and I see that most of my friends are in this trajectory of being like, hey, we don't want to live that life that was given to us. We want to live the life that we built by ourselves.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's changing now. I think
Hmm.
it's changing for men as well now when men starting to pay more attention of not just for outside like the work, money and business. They trying to like see uh what they feel like because before it was men were not even allowed to feel kind
Yeah.
of, boys don't cry, boys don't do this, like you're not allowed to do so many things which for women we always were allowed to do kind of.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So we took it normal that we can just when we feel sad we cry, but boys grow up with the not anymore as much, but before it was like when boys were crying, there was something people thought that there was something wrong with them,
Yeah.
which is like actually a normal way to releasing your feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally
Hmm.
agree with you with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. if,
So
if I can
that's.
touch on this, I think the landscape of the world wasn't wanting to give that opportunity to men, because I mean in Europe we had like two major wars following each other. And I think there was a time where men needed to show themselves stronger and they were like warriors. And now we can accept that you can be a warrior, but you can also be someone with feelings and with a desire of change.
Yeah, you don't have to have like only one side. You can just both have both of them.
Yeah.
That's the important thing to notice. So it seems to me that a lot of men are still carrying from a lot of anger still.
Yeah. Yeah, I think men have a lot of anger. And I mean men in general have an issue to express their feelings and express their emotions. And they suppress everything and try to make it look like they have nothing because they want to show they're in control. And being emotionally is kind of perceived as not being in control, which is
Hmm.
kind of like sad, because if you're in touch with your emotion, they give you valuable information about what is happening in a situation. And accepting your feeling and expressing them in a healthy way, in a way that is not, I would say, violence or degrading others, is very
Hmm.
important to be like, okay, this is making me nervous or angry. If you're scared of something, it just means that you're not ready for it or whatever, and you need to accept that and being okay. I'd rather not make a mistake and listen to my emotions and do it again later when I'm ready. So I feel like anger, like any other emotions, are very present into men because they don't know how to express them, and then they just build them
Oh.
inside and then just suffer from that.
Hmm. That's interesting point of view as well. And
Thank you.
I think one thing is, well, men think that if they nice or if they have more emotions, they scared that it will show them as weak.
Yeah, this is like really coming out from that stereotype of the warrior who is like strong and has no fear, no emotions. And it's pretty sad because there is this trend on internet saying the nice guy should not be a nice guy and everything. And I think Well, there's a difference between being nice and truly weak, because being nice isn't being weak. A lot of
Exactly.
weak men are nice in order to protect themselves because they're afraid of being hurt. So they are letting others step on their niceness and not defending themselves. But that's not meaning that being nice is a bad thing. It
Mm-hmm.
just means that not having strength is a bad thing, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference. It is, I think it's very good to be a nice guy, and I like being a nice guy. I like to
Mm-hmm.
be gentle, especially with people I'm intimate with, and I love to be nice with my friend. But if someone's stepping over me, I'm just not gonna let them, and that
Mm-hmm.
is the difference. So being a nice man and being vulnerable. I mean, vulnerable. How? Because we very often use the word vulnerable for people being open to their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
When I have something that is hurting me and I'm not admitting it, I'm creating a weakness and I'm creating a vulnerable spot where people can push on and trigger me. But once I'm open to my wounds and I'm say this is something that is hurting me, I'm not being vulnerable. I'm being open and I'm being honest. So there is a difference. I think we should reset that in the world of personal and development and healing, that being honest with the way you feel is not especially being vulnerable, is admitting that you have a wound. But the more you
Mm-hmm.
admit you have a wound, the more you're healing it, because it's by avoiding the wound that it is painful. But once you put it into light, you're more and more okay with it, and at one point it's just, yeah, it happened.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's why for the men as well, they have to learn one of the things like, okay, it's okay to be nice, and it's not weakness when you send the boundaries.
Yeah.
Like when
Hmm.
somebody is not nice back, then you don't have to be mean or angry, but you can be assertive. Like just stand up on your feet and put your boundaries up. Okay, I'm being nice, but you're not treating me the way you're supposed to. So
Yeah.
now we have this boundary, and you will have to follow this rules.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
really about just being just and fair to yourself, being like, hey, and clearly, yeah. And putting a boundary isn't especially about being aggressive or mean. It's just saying no. It's just saying, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want you to step in that field, in that zone, and if you agree with me, there won't be any consequences. But if you go on stepping, there might be some.
Mm-hmm. That is true. And let's talk about more now. How can men actually what they can do now? What when they figure out that they want to be more happier? Like probably
Mhm.
men who are watching right now, they start watching the show because they want to find out. Obviously, they not. Some of them probably not happy at all, or starting to think about what happiness is. So, what are
Mhm.
some of the tools that they can start with?
Well, so if a man feels that he's not happy, um, I think one of the thing is that happiness is a movement. Happiness is not an achievement. Happiness is when we're entertaining ourselves into making following our dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the first thing that men need to be is to understand who they are and what is their taste. And the best way to do that, like in anything, is to try things. If you want to know what is your taste in food, you need to eat different kind of foods. So
Mm-hmm.
if someone is maybe having a career and evolving well, or maybe they're just at this point where I want to change, quit my job and make a break with my past, whatever position you're in, it's just really to ask yourself, okay, what are the things in my past that were making me happy, and what were the dreams that I
Okay.
had when I was a kid? Like when we were kids, we see things around ourselves and like, okay, these that I like, and then the experience of life are making us one thing. So we need to move towards this thing, and that is happiness. Is at the end of the day, when you're happy, is because you did things or you've been with people and you feel that you're moving towards somewhere. Like when you see your friends and you feel that your friendship is evolving, that's making you happy. So I think happiness is the outcome of having different pillars of your life being fulfilled, in your family, in your social network, in your physical activities. Like going once to the gym will make you feel good, but after one
Mm-hmm.
year seeing how your body is, that's gonna make you be proud, and that's gonna generate happiness. So finding on these what are the dreams you want to follow, and filling up the different pillars of your life. This is very important, and then accepting that during different phases of your life you might have different activities that will bring you happiness. Like
Mm-hmm.
I when I was a kid, I wanted to be an actor because I saw these
Okay.
people who were playing different roles in their lives, and they were like, wow, they're one day they're a pilot, the other day they're a taxi driver, whatever. And and then in my life, very early on, I became an entrepreneur, and I had different businesses, and some of the things I don't want to do. I used to have a workshop where I was building handmade bicycles. And now I'm like letting go all these things, all the tools I have, because this is not something I want to do in my life. Now I want to focus on helping people heal with hypnosis. And so your purpose, or what is creating happiness, might change during the course of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think, according to studies, like connections with others is one of the things that brought the most happiness in the life of person. So I think being connected to a community and responding to their needs, feeling others needs, but makes me happy. Like when I was building bicycles, it's not especially the bikes, but it's the people, because I was making custom bikes. I would talk with the people, understand what they love, and then make a bike with a custom paint job, with like some details that would reinforce their identity. And that was what I was loving there. And at one point in my life, I was doing tattooing, and tattooing also was a way of giving something to people, because they want to have something that would enhance their physical appearance, and it would have a
Mm-hmm.
meaning for them. So there was, for me, always a dimension of giving something to others. And when I'm working now as a hypnotherapist, is always still directed to helping people and giving something to people. And so I think that fulfillment is when you have different pillars of your life being filled, and then you can give to others. That is creating even more happiness, because you're multiplying your pleasure of doing what you love with the satisfaction of the people that you're helping.
Mm-hmm. I
So
like that point of view. Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna put it in a nutshell for people who are listening, because it was a long development here. So it's really about finding what you love doing and how you can give it to others.
Okay, but what if they like so much into their daily schedule and they have not thought about happiness at all? They just like routinely do like their everyday things that they had to be doing.
Hmm. Well, changing
How
the
to
life.
get like how to have this moment where you actually like, okay, pause, how to get yourself in that pause moment when you make a change, like when you made a change.
Yeah, well, I think the people who are looking at this video already that pause moment, because they would not be
Okay.
looking at this video. If they're looking at a video on how to build more happiness, they already know they want it.
Mm-hmm.
So the person who is in that position that needs that, they need a friend to just help them and say, hey man, uh, I see you're gonna burn out in 3 weeks, so just take a break now. And I think the people who are watching this video, they might probably have a few friends around that are in this position. So if you're watching this video, you should be able to look around and say, hey, this friend is about like 3 steps behind me, be in front of the burnout. So go talk to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who is watching in this video, I would say, well, just start looking around, see what is making other people happy, and try it.
Mm-hmm. And they should also understand what is happiness. They have to
Yeah,
readjust and find out what is happiness. I always bring out to people that they have to know what is happiness for them, not
yeah,
just go for what is a general view of, okay, this money is happiness, success is happiness. but not it's not true, because we see so many people with a lot of money, so many people with success, and they're not happy. Well, some of them are, but not all of them. So that
Yeah.
means that just that is not happiness.
Hmm. Well, I think one of the skills that is very important, and one of the things that is also helping is metrics, and having the skill to be your own sense of measuring your life by yourself.
Oh.
Okay, what is making me happy? How much food is good for me before I feel I'm full? How many kilometers can I run before I'm sweating? Knowing yourself, having your own set of metrics. When I started doing the work I'm doing, I started asking myself, how do we measure the evolution of what I'm doing? And I had to create my own metrics. Say like, hey, there is no need of following someone else's metrics. Everybody can have their own metrics, and the more precise you are about what you love and how you feel, the more happiness you will be able to build.
Yeah, I like the one that you said, your own metrics.
Yeah,
I think that's where everybody should start from, putting attention on their own metrics, and even write
it's
it down. Maybe write it down either if you want it in your head, list, and make a list in your head, or make a list on a paper of
yeah.
your own metrics, or what makes you feel good. One question that I had as well, like, do men separate what just feels good or what makes you feel happy? Is it same or is it separate?
Sorry. Um, So for me in the past, when I didn't have a clear direction, where would just pick the goals that would impress me from others because I wanted to be recognized and I didn't know how to be recognized, I didn't know what happiness was, and consumption of substance and whatever would stimulate my nervous system would be connected to what I would believe being happy. But now I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
back, I realized that what was making me the most happy at the time was friendships. And
Okay.
unfortunately, the friendships I was building through the consumption of drugs. But then now I realize that both are important, because what makes you feel good is needed on a daily basis. Every day you need to do things that make you feel good. There's things that you need to do also to surpass yourself that might not make you feel good as well. But knowing how to make you feel good is very important. And then knowing that things that makes you feel good might not make you feel happy. That is also a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is really, I would say, uh, in a few words, the pursuit of your goals. So pursuing your goals, there might be activities that are like a bit more boring, but in general sense, if you really focus on your dream, on what you really want to achieve, and how rewarding it is for yourself and for the next generation, most of the tasks will be rewarding. Like if you put yourself the intention of mopping the floor and feeling excited about it, you'll
Uh-huh.
have a great moment. If you go
Mm-hmm.
there, I had that not long ago, where I was with a few people and we had to clean a room, and some people were like, "Oh, this is gonna be the worst thing to do," and I was like, "Why couldn't we just decide that we're gonna have fun together doing it?" And we change the whole experience. So there is a lot of mindset there of what makes you feel good. There was a time, one of the ideas I had is that the only thing could make me happy or feel good was cocaine. And when people were telling me you should stop or slow down, I was like, if I'm doing that, nothing's gonna make me happy. And then changing my mind and being like, okay, other people can, so I can, and
Mm-hmm.
just searching for these things that makes me feel good, and compounding these days of feeling good until the happiness start growing, and then you get fulfillment, and really finding what is your purpose, what is the reason you're here. And that is pretty easy. You just need to look back at your life and see what life is preparing you for.
Mm-hmm. I like that as well, because I noticed, like, when people don't know yet their own feelings and everything, and they just try to follow what everybody else doing, and they go drinking, and like you said, drinking and drugs and all that, because that's what they think people do. But then I see that that's like men's way of like some of the men, it's ways of how their friendships are. They bond that way. So, but I noticed that men who actually go like do sports together, work out, go travel, go adventures, go camping, or like hit like something hiking like that, they feel much better long term, short term, everything. They're much they you can see they're more happier, they're more fulfilled
Yeah.
than the ones just go out and get drunk with their friends.
It's totally clear because we're social animals and we need bonding. We know from life experience that we cannot survive on our own. Life gave us that from the beginning. When you're born, the first 5 years of your life, you're dependent on your surrounding, on your family, on anyone who is there. An animal like a cow, the 5-10 minutes of its birth, it's able to start walking and start eating grass. So we could say a wild animal in few days could technically be independent, but we humans, we have a development that is way slower and way more qualitative, that is forcing us to accept that we need others. And other proof is that our bodies are made to have the most amazing chemical like oxytocin when we're bonding, when we're doing things for others, when we're giving, when we're loving, when we're making love. We have the highest, the peakest pleasurable emotions when we do things for others. So it is a proof that we are there. And when we know that the people we're bonding with allow us to feel good and engage in positive activities, it is signaling to our nervous system that on the long term it's a good thing. Now, I believe that happiness, like any pleasurable emotion, is a feedback from the body saying, hey, you're in the good way. When you burn yourself, when you eat too much, when your body is giving you pain, your body is telling you, stop there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And when your body is giving you dopamine or giving you any kind of pleasure, he's saying, you're doing good. And it's also about you to measure what is too much and what is enough. Because same, like eating food will give you some dopamine and your body will reward you from taking care of yourself. But going too much of one action that is positive on that kind of amount, we will also have long-term negative effects. So listening to your body, listening to your mind, and listening to yourself, this is a way to move forward towards like a better, more fulfilling life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's a good start for a man to start paying attention all those things, that thoughts and everything that comes in it, that is inside. It doesn't come from inside. It is already inside. So just like take a moment and just listening. Because I saw from your Instagram as well, you're doing a lot of fun things. And that's pretty much the way I see as well. Like most of the happiness is just doing those fun things. And that's where you get that feeling of happiness.
Well, there are two things that are like scientifically proven that are necessary for us. Is novelty is very important. Like engaging into new things, going to new places. Uh, they've noticed that making a walk somewhere you've never been to give you so much more dopamine and endorphin than I think it's more than some drugs. I don't remember exactly, but it was very surprising to see that just having a walk in nature somewhere I've never been to is
Mm-hmm.
giving you so much good feel good or hormones. And something else is variety, having different centers of activities. If you're doing the same thing all over again, you're gonna have a tasteless life, because the more you do one thing, the less you feel it. I mean, it's like a fish in the water. You need to get out, do different things. And this is happening for me. Like, for example, I am a very artistic person. I love painting, I
Mm-hmm.
love drawing, I love dancing, I love singing, I love different kind of arts. But I realize that I don't do them every day or every month. Sometimes for 3 months I'm not drawing and I don't fucking care about it, and I'm just doing
Mm-hmm.
other things that I really enjoy. And then at one point I'm like, oh, I'm tired of doing that, and then it's just flip my life and do new things, and I just go back to activity I used to do. And the beautiful things is that I feel like my skills are growing even if I'm not doing them, because the absence of it allows me to digest my knowledge and to go further.
Yeah, I think that's for long term happiness. One thing is variety as well, because same like with the even with food, if we always eating the same food, okay, we like that food, but if we eat it and eat it and eat it one time, we're just like, okay, well, it doesn't give you the same emotion anymore because you've been
Mhm.
doing it for so long time. So you need to be eating something else for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then go like you were just saying with your art. Like you do some other things. You had need variety of things that make you feel good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So you can go back and forth. You do a little bit of one, then you do a little bit, and trying new things, completely new things.
yeah, exactly.
hmm
Get it right.
I I think one thing as well, like for the men, like just to go for a walk would be a good start as well, because I know a lot of men that just working out. They do a lot of workout or they go for running, but they do it with mentality. I have to do it instead of
Yeah,
I get to do it. But if you go for like actually a meaningful walk where you pay attention of your surroundings, you look around, you just take your time, and you don't just robotically walk through like from this distance to another distance. You're actually paying attention of and enjoying the walk.
yeah, I really like the comparison with the elements of and saying that men love the element of fire, which is action, which is like lifting weight, doing things, and it's
hmm
very rewarding. Me as a man, when I lift weight, I would just want to do every day. But then there's
hmm
a point where I'm like, okay, no, I need more water. I need more like calmness, gentleness, and I
hmm
just life is about balance. Everything in nature is about balance. Everything is about opposites. And if we want to have a fulfilled life where we're not burning out, I mean, burning out is just really the representation of the element of fire is very beautiful there, because these are people who are grinding, grinding, grinding. At one point, they're grinding so much they just fall down and they cannot do anymore. And then for 6 months, 6 years, they cannot do anything and they need to recover. So finding balance, I think especially for men that are very driven, is very hard, because it's just like you have a goal and like, oh my god, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to achieve it. And we have so much desire of seeing that goal being built that we just are ready to spend 10 hours standing and working. And I've seen
hmm
myself do that, being on a standing desk on my laptop working for 20 hours straight and being like receiving messages from people, hey, we're waiting for you, and be like, oh my god, I just totally zapped it. So I don't understand what it is, and this desire of achieving things and then giving them to others, that's really fulfills us. Being out of service for a community or society, this is very important for us, man. But unfortunately, I mean, we have to stop and we have to go to the rhythm of others. Men, there are very this mentality, I want to go fast and by myself.
hmm
But I think true man, true maturity is just slowing down and saying, I want to go fast, but actually I need to go with the rest of the people and I need to go at their speed. And that's really what my job right now is teaching me as a therapist. I want to heal as much people as I
hmm
can, and I want to heal them fast. But actually, even though I have the knowledge and the skills and the power to do it, I really need to be like, okay, I could snap my finger and make it happen, but it's not gonna happen on my speed. It's gonna happen on your speed, and that's the best speed. And that's what I'm learning. And I really feel that I'm getting to the element of wood. And wood, I think like men go through the different elements from air, water, fire, metal, and wood. And when you become wood, is like the fundamental element of the nature. The tree is one of the pillars of nature, which is giving a lot, taking the time, and taking care of others. And I think that's a very beautiful image for the father, like being slow and making a huge span, of shadow for his kids and taking care of them and being slow and giving the wood for the younger men to burn with their fire, and then become metal. And I feel like there's this movement there. And when
Mhm.
we understand what elements we're living with, we can see what element we need to balance it out and just keep that masculinity alive. I I don't teach that especially, but when I think about myself through elements, and I just intuitively feel like, okay, I've been too much into fire now. What do I need? I need some more water to calm myself down and to
Mhm.
soothe myself, because if I'm too much fire, I'm gonna burn people around me. But if I'm not
Mhm.
enough fire, I will be burned by others. So,
Mhm.
keeping balance to have this steady life. This is the best thing a man can do in his life.
Mhm. And I like that you were saying you're trying to make other people to find happiness or find themselves and like having this more joy. Because I believe because right now still we have most of the people in power are men. There's a lot of women
Mhm.
coming in power, but most of them are still men. But we need those men to be happy men.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But see, like if those men in power would be happy men, I think we'll be having a better world. Because
yeah,
right now they have problems. They're not happy. They have anger issues. They have some past issues. They have power issues, and that's what creates the chaos in the world.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
imagine if all those men in a power right now, if they would be generally happy people, what the world would be like.
I think the world would be literally heaven on earth, like it was supposed to be. And I don't blame these men, because the world we emerged from was very dangerous, and there was a lot of misunderstanding between nations and between people that brought up a lot of pain. And I see the generation before me and the generation before, they were really into sacrificing themselves to build the world and to rebuild the world and to create something. And there was this lack of connection with themselves, and there was this pride of giving. My mother grew up in a communist country. She's from Poland,
Mhm.
and I saw these men who were proud workers, who were like, we're here, we're sacrificing our lives for the community, we're sacrificing our life for the country. And unfortunately, that is where we missed out on society, thinking that we need to impose a function to people and sacrifice their happiness, while looking the opposite way, saying, hey, we're gonna let people choose what they want and be fulfilled, and from the fulfilling build life. And that's where we're coming here. I think we're gonna have the next 2 to 3 generations something very beautiful happening here on earth. And i'm
Mhm.
i'm very proud of being on this moment where I have this luxury of being able to build that future for them, and saying, hey, these kids, they're gonna grow up in a world where there's gonna be more good and more freedom and more opportunities for people to choose what they want.
Mhm. Let's go one step back for like I noticed in your conversation you said your mom grew up in a communist country. What country was she from?
Poland.
Poland. Okay, because I'm originally from Estonia, and my mom was the same way. She grew up in a communist country, so I didn't understand a lot of things about why she did and the decisions she made. And then I figured out, I actually learned a little bit about communism. And when I figured out that the way she was raised, I was able to understand why she did how she made
Mm,
her decisions based on what. But that made me also think about right now when we're going through this change, then the men had to understand as well that what was men's way in the past doesn't have to be what men's going to bring to the future.
yeah, yeah,
So
clearly, clearly.
they have absolute right to change from what were their fathers were. They don't have to be the same. They can be different.
Exactly,
Because the
exactly.
world is different.
Sorry, the world is very
The
different, and,
world
and
is
we
different.
we have to change, because this is why we're here. We're here to have a unique life, and having a unique life is also making a cut from the past and saying, hey, okay, what was good, we keep it, and what wasn't good, we just let it go. And it's the part of any kind of evolutionary process, is to say, hey, we need to change some stuff. And I think,
Mhm.
yeah, that men can admit. I mean, I've to me the biggest problem is men admitting they're making a mistake, and I've seen that in myself how much I didn't want to admit I wasn't making a mistake because I want to be a proud, powerful man
Okay.
who knows everything, who has a direction, who you can count on, things like that. These kind of ideas that were put into my mind, and so I've made so many mistakes that I didn't want it to admit to myself. Like, no, this is not a mistake. I'm gonna follow through. I'm follow through. And some of the things I followed through, and it turned out to work well. And some of the things I followed through, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna abandon and hide myself and not tell anyone that I didn't finish it. And now I realize that I'd rather say I don't know, I made a mistake, and
Mm-hmm.
get get some uncomfortable for like 5 minutes than staying in discomfort for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. When I was younger, really, really in my like, I think like late high school or somewhere already, then that's when I realized and I told myself and others, in a classroom where you don't know something and as people are scared to ask. And I
Mhm.
like, I don't know if I read it from somewhere or came up with that based on something, but I decided that if I'm not going to ask, I'm not gonna know, and I'm gonna be like I don't want to say stupid, but like I'm not gonna be knowing that information. But then I realized if I will ask, I will look stupid only like people say, "Oh, you're stupid that you don't know that question is a stupid question," but I will ask. People will give me the answer, and now I know
Yeah,
instead of just going along not knowing like okay I'm going to be stupid for this moment when I'm asking because other people they may not know and they will say like oh how come she doesn't know that and but then I'm going to know for the rest of my life.
yeah,
I let myself have that one uncomfortable moment to benefit for the rest of my life.
yeah. And I want when you said not even being uncomfortable for that. That's just like very often if people ask me a question and I don't know, and I'm saying like I don't know, people they love that. But it's also, I was explaining that to a friend about my hypnosis. If someone is asking me a question about hypnosis and uh, I don't know the answer, and like I'm a master hypnotist, I'm supposed to know it all. No,
Mm-hmm.
like if I don't know something and I'm okay with it, I'm just saying I have enough information to lead you into a successful session. I don't need to know everything. It's the same if you're a car
Mm-hmm.
mechanic. You don't need to know everything about all cars. If you know how to fix my car, that's enough, and you will be paid for the job. If I know how to fix your mind, I don't need to know what happened through all this story. I can, if that much is enough to make you feel happy and feel good and you forget about any kind of problem you have, I don't want to learn that much because my brain is here. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're getting closer to the hour was starting to go fast, so went through so fast. It's starting to get in like 1 hour. So let's first tell people what services you provide and how they can contact you, and then we're gonna close up with I have some more questions for you.
Okay, so well, I am Asha. I'm a hypnotist. I'm a master hypnotist. I had specialized into having men to live the life with their purpose and have performance with fun. Because most of men they're very dedicated, they're working well, they have built something, but then they've lost the fun part of life. And I believe that life, as I said, is a balance. And if we are able to balance out play and hard work, that's where we're going to have a better life, more fulfilled life. So I work a lot with hypnosis in order to clear out negative beliefs about yourself, self esteem, lack of self love. And then with the same techniques, build these tools and build this confidence, build this strength that you have within and allow it to shine and really like find confidence in being loved for your qualities and being appreciated for the wholeness of your being, and and not be shy about any kind of hobbies you have, and really being able to express yourself as a man and be like, I want to have power because me as a man, I want to be powerful, but I don't
Mhm.
want to be seen as a man who is using power to control others.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a man who is recognized for his power and using that power to do good things and be playful with it. So I I love working with entrepreneurs who have this beautiful project of their life. They want to build a company or they want to build something, and I want to help them perform in their work, but also have the most amazing life possible and building happiness. Because I've been into these moments in my life where for like 6 months, almost 1 year, I was not working and I was just having like a gap year in my life. But I realized that this entrepreneurial mindset in me, every time I was arriving in a new city, I was like meeting people like, okay, I know what I can do. I want to do something. And I realized that my happiness is a mix of playfulness, but also of work and service. So I want to help people to do that, to arrive in this place where they have performance, but through pleasure.
Mm-hmm. And they can contact you through Facebook usually, and Facebook
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I have all the links for Asha is are in the description as well. And that's the pretty. Is Facebook the best way to contact you, or is there a?
Facebook is very good. Instagram also is pretty good. My Facebook is ASHA Power Hope, and my
Mhm.
Instagram is the best of ASHA.
Mhm. Yeah, I have it in descriptions as well, so everybody can look it up. And
Perfect. Yeah.
for your hypnosis sessions, do you provide them online as well, like over the like online or phone
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I
online?
do them online in person, and I also have recorded hypnosis session that are on YouTube. So if you want to try it out, if you've never been there, if you're like adopting, if is the hypnosis working, or is it for me? Because some modalities are not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to start with the mind because that's where everything starts. And then when I work with people on long term, I give them activities and exercise for other parts of the life, whether it be food or also movement. But I focus on what's happening in the mind. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hypnosis is something that most people, I would say 99% of the people, will have instant results and tangible results.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some uploaded recordings on YouTube that they can try and see how efficient it is.
Mm-hmm. I think it's good for a man as well if they're not able to go inside themselves by naturally already. So that's a good start also to like go inside and start paying attention to what is your
Yeah.
inside thoughts and everything like this. So that's I think that's if the viewer, the man is watching and they don't know yet how to get into yourself, into your own thoughts and get inside of yourself. Hypnosis is one of the really good ways, same as with meditation.
Yeah.
But now let's go to some closing thoughts as well. And I want to do for the closing thoughts, I want to go to your personal happiness. Like,
Okay.
what do you, Asha, what do you think for you? Not what
hmm
general view of happiness is, but for you personally, what is happiness?
For me personally, happiness is the freedom to pursue my goals and share them with the ones I love. Uh, Building things by myself is nice, but I don't enjoy them so much. It's when I
Mm-hmm,
see how it affects the people around me that I feel happier. Like really, I'm also 32, and I'm arriving to the age where I'm maturing as a man, and I really start like having this idea of planning my future as a father. And I think also like this desire of creating something that will be beneficial for the next generation is something that is really driving me there.
mm-hmm. And this question as well. Name a few things, maybe like three things that things or activities, something really simple that makes you feel happy.
Dancing is one of the activities that just really fulfills me the most
Mm-hmm,
because I let myself be guided by the music, and I enjoy my body and I enjoy the effect it has on me because it's a very good workout. So dance is one of my top activities right now for happiness. uh, Sharing quality moments, like intimate moment with people where I learn about them, where I connect deeply with them. This is very important. And I love helping people into realizing their dreams. Like when I have a friend
Mm-hmm.
that has a dream and they struggle with, and I can help them. This is something that is bringing a lot of happiness inside of me. And yeah, um, there's a lot of little things also, like cooking a meal for someone that is tired or not feeling good. This is also something that gets me happy. Sunsets are something that just spark. I've been living for like 5 years in the tropics, and I've been having so many beautiful sunsets
Mm-hmm.
on so many beautiful landscape. And even though I had like 1 year almost every day the same sunset, I would be like, wow, this is just so beautiful. So being on this planet and seeing the beauty in things is also like something that is just sprouting so much happiness in me.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And like really simple things. You were saying you like cooking. So, what is your favorite food?
My
Do you
favorite,
have a favorite food?
I love Mediterranean food. I really love
Okay.
like this mix of like fresh and cooked, and like it's a bit spicy, but not as spicy as Asian food, and it's like has more of a twist than European food.
You know what I was just thinking? Like, just in this moment, it came into my mind. Um, a lot of men actually do enjoy cooking.
Yeah, I think
Like, I
so.
think it's maybe, and it came in my mind that maybe it's because women they see more cooking generally at home. Women see cooking as something that they have to do, but
Yeah,
men see it kind of like something that they enjoy doing.
I
It just
really
came to my
enjoy.
mind right now.
Yeah, I love the creative process there is in cooking, because I love also like being very creative with the food I'm making. But what I love also, and I really learned cooking when I was living in Latin America, and there it's very like this outdoor culture where everybody meets each other, and there is like this, like in, I would say, in Mediterranean countries where people are eating outside and taking like 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
to eat. And right now I'm back in Belgium, but almost every day at noon I'm taking 2 to 3 hours to cook a meal with a friend and eat it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I saw my father having a 20-minute lunchtime, coming, eating his sandwich, going back to work. And I saw my father grinding a lot. So I think on the flip side, I'm balancing out his extreme fire with more gentleness and with more time, more quality time, spending more time to take the time to make things.
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome. So that was a really good conversation for a first episode as well. I think we
Thank
got a
you.
lot of information out to start with. So I think after I have for viewers, there's going to be 20 more episodes about maybe a little more, and start watching them all because we need more men to be happy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
And
oh
we
yeah,
one more, we woman and men, but like this one, I want to focus on men because
I
that's I think
yeah.
it has been underestimated. Men's happiness has been underestimated, so it's not been as important that other things.
I think it's very important that men take care of their own happiness, because so many men rely on women to make them happy,
Mm,
and that's not their role. Woman's
yeah.
role is to be a woman. It's not to make men happy. When a man is happy and know what makes him happy, he can be happy with a woman. But so many
Hmm.
men are relying on women for that, and that is not their role. These are boys. Boys relies on their mother to be happy and things like that. But if you rely on a woman, you need to just start thinking about your relationship, because this might end very badly for you if you go on that
Hmm.
way.
Hmm. Thank you, Asha, so much. It was a
My
great
pleasure.
conversation. We got a lot of information out to start with. And thank you, everybody, who are watching. And please watch another episodes as well. And I believe you're gonna be happy after watching all
Yes.
episodes. I think you're gonna even start your own happiness journey right now from this episode. If you apply everything that Asha was talking about as well, and if you
Yeah.
need any contact with Asha, that this everything is in description, and you can get a little hypnosis. So that's good as well. So thank you for watching and enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.